Hey, look, we're back. And where we last left off, we finished Orgrimmar quest line. We set Balin on the throne as its king. We got to the Anvil of the Void, found out how and what the Anvil of the Void was, found out it was used to make golems, but found out it was used to make golems against the will of the people who had to be made into the golems. Turns out golems can only be made by infusing a soul of a person in. Originally, they had people who volunteered, but after a while, it was like, we need more bodies. So then they started using criminals and castless, etc., to form these golems, but still against their will. And the person who made the anvil, one Caradin, was still alive in golem form, and was like, please don't use this. But then Bronca came and was like, but I want to use it. I worked my entire life for it. We had to kill her, because, yeah. And now we're going to spend this entire episode just talking to our party members. Hope you don't mind. So, something going on in the video game industry that makes me laugh, because it happened a lot sooner than I thought it would. 13 months. It only took 13 goddamn months, and Netflix is already folding. So, for those who don't know, Dead by Daylight is an asymmetrical horror game where you have 4 survivors, 1 killer. 4 survivors need to activate 5 gens and then get out the exit gate to live, and the killer needs to obviously kill them. Each killer has different unique abilities throughout the game to take down the survivors. Some can teleport, some can lay traps, some can enter rage states, etc. Now, the most important thing about it is, as the game's gotten bigger and bigger in popularity, it started adding licensed killers to the game, with our very first licensed killer being Bubba, as in Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. And as the game's gotten bigger and bigger, we've gotten more and more characters. We got Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Pinhead, Pyramid Head, Nemesis from Resident Evil. Apparently we're getting another Resident Evil killer soon. But one that happened because of the popularity of the show Stranger Things on Netflix was the Demogorgon. And we also got Nancy and Steve as the 2 survivors, as well as the map Hawkins. However, around back in November 2021, you lost the ability to buy the Stranger Things DLC because Netflix pulled the deal. Because greed, effectively. Now, I was one of the people who were like, don't worry, give it some time, they'll come running back, because there's no way they're going to be successful on their own, because these companies really like money. And let's not act like video games aren't the most profitable medium of making money on the planet. For every, to this day, the numbers that a video game can make will trump some of the, biggest and most prominent movies out there. Case in point, the highest profiting movie of all time right now is Avengers Endgame. In a year, games like Clash of Clans, like Candy Crush, like Farmville, well, not Farmville nowadays, but will trump that in a year because of how prominent video games are. So these games that take quite literally a quarter, a tenth, a hundredth of the work it takes to make these mass motion pictures will make that money back. So all these companies want to get into video games, but none of them realize how hard it is and how much time it costs to make them. They all want that money, but none of them want to work for it. So Netflix, in their greed when making their own gaming platform, was like, "Oh, we're gonna pull all our content from your game so no one can buy it, so that we can just sell it for our game." To which I was like, "All right, so you guys are gonna fail at your own video game platform and then come running back." Got it. I expected it to take 2 or 3 years. Turns out it's 13 months. Because as of today, we got announcements that not only are we getting a Fortnite DVD crossover, not sure how that's going to work, but we also got announcements that Vecna, I still haven't seen season 4 of Stranger Things, but I know there's a character, a monster named Vecna, as well as all the old Stranger things are coming back to DVD. Because it's clear what's happening. Their markets were failing for their video games. They were like, shit, wait, we like money. Dumbasses. Either way, let us do our talking around the camp episode. How you doing, Fiat? Bet him. Let's talk to Alistair.
Yes.
I have some questions.
Of course.
What changes about you after the joining?
You mean other than becoming a Grey Warden?
I mean, you've been a Grey Warden longer than I have.
You know, I asked Duncan this too, and all I got was, "You'll see."
He wouldn't tell you?
Oh, it's not that Duncan wants to keep it a secret. It's just that the Grey Wardens don't discuss it much. I gather it's not a pleasant topic. The first change I noticed was an increase in appetite. I used to get up in the middle of the night and raid the castle larder. I thought I was starving. I'd slurp down every dinner like it was my last. My face all covered in gravy. When I'd look up, the other Grey Wardens would stare, then laugh themselves to tears.
I haven't felt anything like that.
Really? Because I was watching you wolf down food the other day, and I thought, ooh, it's a good thing she gets a lot of exercise.
What can I say? I'm a girl.
I'll say. I didn't mean it like that. No, don't hit me. I bruise easily. Oh, and then there were the nightmares. Duncan said it was part of how we sense the Darkspawn. We tap into their, well, I don't know what you'd call it, their group mind. And when we sleep, it's even worse. You learn to block it out after a while, but at first it's hard. It's supposed to be worse for those who join during a blight. How is it for you?
I've had some strange dreams.
Some people never have much trouble, but that's rare. Others have trouble sleeping their entire life. They're just more sensitive, I suppose. Everyone ends up the same, though. Once you reach a certain age, the real nightmares come. That's how a Grey Warden knows his time has come.
Time has come.
Oh, that's right. We never had time to tell you that part, did we? Well, in addition to all the other wonderful things about being a Grey Warden, you don't need to worry about dying from old age. You've got 30 years to live, give or take. The taint, it's a death sentence. Ultimately, your body won't be able to take it. When the time comes, most Grey Wardens go to Orzammar and die in battle rather than
That's right.
waiting.
We will die young. Or I guess not young. Why Orzammar?
You'll always find Darkspawn down where the dwarves are. The oldest Grey Wardens head to the deep roads for one last glorious battle. Not that there's a shortage of Darkspawn during a blight, but that's the tradition. The dwarves respect us for it. And you wondered why we kept the joining a secret from the new recruits. Well, there you have it.
It seems a high price to pay.
I suppose it is. We're the only ones who can stop the blight, however. Is there a price too high to pay for that? You know, Duncan, he started having the nightmares again. He told me that in private.
Yeah, so Duncan was actually due to die pretty soon. I guess I'm guessing Duncan was probably in his like 50s or late 50s, maybe early 60s. Still pretty spry. He'll be remembered also as well the others.
Ending the blight should make this all worthwhile, right? So, all this time we've spent together, you know, the tragedy, the brushes with death, the constant battles with the whole blight looming over us. Will you miss it once it's over?
There'll always be more battles to fight. Somewhere.
But that doesn't mean we would necessarily be fighting them together. I know it might sound strange, considering we haven't known each other for very long, but I've come to...
I'm taking battles to bed. You can't stop me.
A great deal. I think maybe it's because we've gone through so much together. I don't know. Or maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe I'm fooling myself.
Only cowards wouldn't be into Alistair. Are you a coward? Anyone out there, are you guys cowards? Better not be.
You might ever feel the same way about me.
I think I already do.
So I fooled you, did I? Good to know.
Ayy.
That wasn't too soon, was it? Good. I'll take that as a
I'm
good
taking
sign.
this man to bed. You can't stop me. It's happening.
I am a lucky
You know,
man.
it's one of those things.
Let's
You
get
know how
back
like you
to
see those videos of like
what we were up
gamers
to before,
talk
lest I
sounds
forget why we're here.
real fucking homosexual. This is one of those. Has a question to discuss. What was it like to be a Grey Warden with all the others?
I didn't know them for very long, but I guess it was longer than you. You never met them all, did you? They were quite a group. Actually, they felt like an extended family, since we were all cut off from our former lives. We also laughed more than you'd think. There was this one time... Well, you probably don't want to hear stories about men you didn't know.
No, I'd like to hear more about them.
There was one Grey Warden who came all the way from the Anderfells. What was his name? Gregor. He was a burly man with the biggest, fuzziest beard you've ever seen. And the man could drink. He drank all the time, but he never got drunk. Finally, we all made a pool to see just how many pints it would take to put him under the table.
So you had a lot of fun.
Sometimes. We were kin of a sort. All of us had gone through the joining, so we knew... But anyhow, it doesn't have to be deadly serious all the time. Anyhow, we never did find out. He said he'd drink a pint for every half pint that the rest of us drank. He was still going by the time the rest of us were passed out. I'm told that Duncan walked in later on and saw us all passed out from one end of the hall to the other, and Gregor still drinking. Duncan laughed until he nearly...
I'm sorry. This must be hard for you.
Yes, I suppose so. I thought I was done with this, but it just struck me that I have nothing to remember Duncan by. Nothing at all. There's no body, not even a token of his that I could take with me.
I mean, we have his swords, like, right there.
That must sound really stupid to you.
Yeah, your memories of him.
I just would have liked something of his to take with me, that's all. Well, there's no use in moaning about it, is there?
We literally have his swords, like, right there.
I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Go ahead, I don't mind.
How about Ogren? You must have an opinion on the smell, at the very least.
I thought you two would get along.
As long as he stays downwind, sure. Once he's had a bit to drink, however, forget that. There is no bit to drink with him.
You want me to talk with him?
No, that would just make it worse. Morrigan told him exactly what she thought of him, and he actually drove her off with a string of expletives I didn't even know existed. You should have seen it. She actually blushed. I was impressed. And then he vomited. Not so impressive.
I actually rather like him.
I would too if he could stick to the ribald stories and not so much with the belching and projectile vomiting. How he lifts his sword is a bit of a mystery. Though I suppose the point is that he does lift it. And so long as we can point him in the right direction, he charges too. He has gusto, I'll give him that. Zevran, the elf. You can't trust him, can you? Do you believe his so-called vow?
No, not really.
Then why bring him along? Don't you think he might try to kill you again? Maybe he's just biding his time.
If he tries anything, then he'll die.
Well, at least you're considering the possibility. He just...
I don't like Zevran.
Shifty.
He is probably my least favorite
The
character in Dragon Age Origins. Companion character. Actually, no, there's one more.
For someone so big.
I respect him.
The more I talk to him, the more reasonable he does seem. His philosophy is so strange. But it doesn't sound at all as vile as the Chantry describes it. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
We're all killers, Alistair.
I don't know if I like the sound of that. But I...
Like, none of us are innocent, man. We've all taken lives.
Liliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision?
I believe that she believes in her vision. Funnily enough, I literally said that in my head before I saw that message.
If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
She's proven very useful.
True enough. Who'd have thought a sister would prove to be an adept thief and spy, eh? Morrigan, do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
You really don't like each other,
Well,
do you?
aside from the fact that she's a complete and utter bitch, no, I don't like her at all. Why, do you?
I like her just fine.
Great. I am thrilled beyond words. Now, really. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
I like Morgan. I like the characters the way they are.
Desire is my command.
I have some questions.
Of course.
Tell me about the Grey Wardens.
Such as they are.
I'll have no more
About the
questions.
Your desire is my
Alright,
command.
take him to bed.
Well, we're in camp. Now's as good. Join you?
Take this man to bed.
No, of course not. I heard you.
Take this
It's
man to
just
bed
that
right now.
I must sound like a fool. You know that I've never done anything like this with anyone.
You go learn today, Alistair. Let's go.
I care for you so much. Whenever I think of this, I feel like a bumbling idiot. All hands.
Look, we got plenty of time to learn. We got 30 years at best. Let go.
I really do, don't I? I keep telling myself that. I don't know. I'm willing to
Let go.
give it a shot, if you are. Right. I'm going to
Let go.
stop talking now.
And then we get a really, really low budget porn scene. Oh my god. Oh, Alistair's great though. Low budget as shit. I remember when I remember back in 2008, 2009 when this was when this got found in games, like there was like a massive uproar because it's like, oh my god, the sex in video games. That's so.
Yep. Lightning first, then the end of civilization as we know it. I'm a bad,
But like
bad
that's
man.
some like
realize the rest
safe
of
for
it
work
possibly
level
goes
porn by
to
today's
war.
standards, even in other video games for that matter. Why are you gonna tell him? Actually, let them talk. I don't care.
Oh sure, now you say that. By tomorrow it'll be icy glares and awkward silences right before battle. Just you watch.
Oh, fun fact.
So,
After
now?
doing that, you get a very
Anything.
funny dialogue between Alistair and Wynn. I'm gonna see if I can trigger it. We stay together no matter what happens.
Right, I can handle that. I hope. Before we go, I just want to thank you. No one's ever made me feel this way. I wasn't sure it could happen, in fact.
You don't need to thank me.
I did, actually, but let's get moving.
Boom. First night. And there are 4 dateable companions. You get an achievement for each one. One is Alistair, one is Morgan, one is Liliana, one is Zebron. Bisexual, heterosexual. And then you get into Dragon Age 2. I can't remember the dating options in Dragon Age 2. It's been too long. Then in Dragon Age 3, like half the cast is homosexual and or bisexual. Let's see. So Cole's hetero, Dorian's hetero. Sarah is lesbian. Vivian is off the table. I believe Cassandra's off the table. Solus will only date an elf, and they had to be female. Iron Bull's bisexual as shit. He will go to town on anyone. So much so that if you don't court Iron Bull or Dorian's gay, in the epilogue of their story, they end up dating. What else? Who else? Is that the entire cast? Oh yeah, you can't get with Varric. Varric is just like, look, I'm just living my best life by myself. I'm good, fam. Alright, so that's all of Alistair's. Let's talk with Liliana.
Something I can help with?
I talked to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Why did you choose to come to
My
Ferelden?
mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated and the common folk began to resist the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
What happened to your mother?
Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother.
You were young, it's understandable.
Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andraste's Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on.
Spoilers, if you find Andraste's Grace, give it to Liliana. Anyway.
Something I can help with?
I'd like to ask you something?
What's on your mind?
Do you miss anything about Orlais?
Unlike other cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Val Royeaux was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in Val Royeaux, streaming from the many windows, quiet refrains and triumphant choruses, and always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the Grand Cathedral. It was magnificent.
Is that all?
Oh, it would take me a day or two to talk about the many splendors of Orlais, her golden fields, her lush meadows. Of course, there are good things and bad things about Orlais, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Orlais.
What sort of things?
Dresses, fine dresses and furs, and shoes, of course. One can't mingle with nobility with bad shoes, you see. Orlais is very fashionable, almost ridiculously so. But the shoes, living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
Oh, I love shoes.
When I left Orlais, the fashion was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course.
Shoes are pretty top tier. Oh, that sounds so lovely.
I had my eye on a pair my shoemaker was working on. It was covered in pale blue silk with amber beads on the toe. The shoes made in Orlais were exquisite. Not at all like these clunky fur-lined leather boots you have in Ferelden. Ugh, just look at them.
Alright, so ugly, it's shapeless.
They're sturdy shoes, but sometimes a girl just wants to have pretty feet. Oh, I could talk about shoes all day, but we have things to do, don't we?
I mean, we can keep talking about shoes. You seem pretty happy about talking about shoes.
Yes? What's on your mind?
I've heard some rumors about Orlesian spies.
There are many rumors about spies, Orlesian or otherwise. What are you referring to exactly?
Something I heard that made spies seem dangerous.
I admit I have done many despicable things in my lifetime. I do what I have to do. So do you. So does everybody. Sometimes we must do terrible things to get what we want. If it is any consolation, I always try to use non-violent means to achieve my ends.
What sort of non-violent means?
Some bards rely on torture to get what they want. It works effectively, as many will bend under the threat of bodily harm. But there are better ways, more subtle and kind. You will be surprised how easily a person will open up to you, even if all you offer is a listening ear.
True, true.
People respond eagerly to
Sometimes you just gotta give someone a shoulder to cry on, and people will open up to you.
Approval, friendship.
The amount of times I was able to like talk to my students by just taking a seat and be like, "Hey, let's talk." And normally we'd be like, "I don't want to talk." It's just like, "No, just tell me what's on your mind, kid. Just tell me what's on your mind." And eventually it starts off with like what's like in front of them, and then it slowly blossomed out to all their troubles and tribulations through the world. Not gonna lie, every once in a while I do miss teaching. The teaching part of teaching I still do miss, and interacting with kids will always be great. Can't go back to it though. That money, no. Good to know.
It is a game, one that can be won with little bloodshed if one plays well.
You thought it was a game?
Isn't it? Everyone can be seduced by the right woman. The trick is predicting who she is and becoming her. Master the game, and no one can resist you.
How does that help us kill Darkspawn again?
Well, it doesn't really. I see your point. We will slay this Darkspawn using
I don't think you can. We just saw what happens with women when it comes to Darkspawn. Let's not try to seduce them. That just sounds like a bad idea.
something I can help with?
I told you about something?
What's on?
Oh, never mind. You are tapped out. Alright, so Alistair is at... Ogren's at warm. Holy shit. Where's Alistair at? Let's see. Alistair is... Lilian is at... warm as well. 69. Alistair is at a door of 84. Hey, Shell, so how do you feel about the whole golem thing?
Shale of House Kadash. Is that who I once was? I find this difficult to believe.
You're teleport dwarf.
I am not a dwarf. Or at least, I'm not a dwarf any longer. If I was this Shale of House Kadash, as Caridin said, there must be some evidence of my existence remaining. I must find it.
Perhaps there are records in Orzammar?
There is another way. What Caridin said, it has allowed me to remember one thing. I believe I know where Kadash Taig is.
You can go there if you like.
Its offer is appreciated. I will mark the location on its map. If we can journey there soon, I am most curious as to what we will find.
Hey, so we got a quest for Shale. I'll put off talking to Shale until that quest. Same thing for Sten. So Sten, I'm basically going to hold up on Sten, Morrigan, and Shale now. Which leaves just Ogren, Wynn. Let's see if we can finish talking to Wynn.
You're quite taken with each other, aren't you?
You know about Alistair and me?
It's hard not to notice the doe-eyed looks he gives you, especially when he thinks no one's watching. It's almost too sweet for my tastes, and I'm an old lady who should be making lace hearts and fuzzy blankets with animal motifs.
You're like the average old lady.
No, I won't be making socks with pom-poms for you anytime soon. But that's hardly my point. I've noticed your blossoming relationship, and I wanted to ask you where you thought it was going. Alistair is a fine lad, skilled in battle, but quite inexperienced when it comes to affairs of the heart.
Ain't that like a doting grandmother?
See him get hurt.
Are you saying I might hurt Alistair?
Not intentionally, no. But there is great potential for tragedy here, for one or both of you. You are a Grey Warden. You have responsibilities which supersede your personal desires.
I can have my responsibilities and
Love
relationships.
is ultimately selfish. It demands that one be devoted to a single person who may fully occupy one's mind and heart to the exclusion of all else. A Grey Warden cannot afford to be selfish. You may be forced to make a choice between saving your love and saving everyone else. And then what would you do?
I don't want to have to make that choice.
Nothing is certain. Not in these times. You cannot take anything for granted. I want you to be aware of this.
Are you trying to get me to end this?
You may have to save one or both of you unnecessary anguish later on.
So I should inflict pain on him now to avoid it
I've
later?
given
Great
my
logic.
advice. Do with it what you will.
Fuck that, Win. Hell no.
What's on your mind?
I'd like to ask you something
I
about the
will
circle.
answer to the best.
Never mind. You're all tapped out too. Alright, next, Ogren.
There you are. Wanted to talk to you.
I like how we're somehow the same height. Am I kneeling? Go ahead.
Aye, here we go. You and I, you know how sometimes you spend time with people and things.
Take your time. What is it?
I was thinking, I do know some people out here on the surface. A person, actually. A girl I knew in Orzammar. Before I left, obviously.
Who is she?
Her name's Felsi. She and I were friends after Branka left for the deep roads. I'm sure she's forgiven me by now. Thought maybe I'd track her down, see how she's been living.
Do you know how to find her?
Last I heard, she was gonna live with her mother on the surface near some lake. Clean Bad Lake, was it? Yeah, I sod it, I don't remember.
Clean bed. You mean Calenhad? We can go there.
Oh, no, I think it was Clean Bad. I remember because I thought, yeah, that's right. Dirty good, clean bad. Yeah. But thanks for offering to take us there. You're a good friend, Warden. Now, what was it you wanted to say?
Can you teach me how to fight like you do?
Want to be a berserker? Thought I'd never see the day. You're a monster on the field already, Warden. But your style just doesn't give itself to mad rage. Too much thinking, too much, finesse. But if you know someone fit for this type of work, I'll teach him. It'll be nice to have another berserker to grunt at for a change.
Tell me more about berserkers.
What the sod is there to know? You get mad, you fly into battle, and things die. It's pretty simple. The hard part is getting in touch with your rage. We all learn to hold that back. It's why we don't kill every duster who looks at us sideways. You need to shut that off. For some people, being in battle is enough. But others have to think about something. Violence, monsters, nobles, your wife, whatever.
Your wife?
Aye, especially my wife.
Just thinking about it, it works?
For most berserkers, it does. Several years ago, I worked with a berserker on one expedition. Just couldn't work himself up. We had to kick him in the stones before he could get going.
Why would you want to fight that way?
Why not? When you fight, you get mad. By the stone, it's a sodding tactic to enrage your enemy so he makes a mistake, right? Berserkers grab that anger and drink it like it's yesterday's ale. Then we turn it against our foes and watch the limbs fly.
And just getting thinking angry thoughts makes it happen.
For most berserkers, it does. We had to kick him in the stones.
Let's talk about something
I'm
else.
listening.
I just know more about you.
What about?
Are you sure you're fine with what happened with Bronca?
Oh, sure. I'm fine with it. I mean, she was a real firebrand between the sheets, but a bit soft in the skull, you know what I mean? Explains why she left, anyway.
You're handling this well.
Handling what? Bronca? That treasure's been long buried. Ancestors take me. You people whine like tea kettles around here.
Massive constitution. Ogren's old flame. Alright, Zevran. Care to answer some questions?
All right, but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so.
Tell me about your adventures.
My adventures? I'm hardly an old man just returned from across the ocean, am I? Should I shake my fist at nearby children while I talk about the good old days?
You started to talk like you've had adventures.
Falling down a flight of stairs is an adventure. Falling into someone's bed, also an adventure. I am assuming what you're looking for are professional anecdotes. Let's see, my second mission ever for the Crows was a bit intriguing. I was sent to kill a mage who had been meddling in politics.
The Crows were willing to anger the Circle of Magi?
In Antiva, nobody is too important to escape the reach of the Crows. They've killed kings and queens. That is simply how it is. As it turned out, the mage in question was quite a delightful young woman. Long, divine legs, as I recall. I caught her in a carriage on her way to escape to the provinces. After I killed her guard, she got down on her hands and knees and begged for her life. Rather aptly, I might add. So I joined her in the carriage for the night and left the next morning.
And she didn't try to kill you?
Well, yes, twice, actually. Then she decided to try and use me instead. The woman had actually convinced me to speak to the Crows on her behalf. What can I say? I was young and foolish at the time. Then, as I was kissing her goodbye to return to Antiva City, she slipped on the threshold and fell backwards out of the carriage. Broke her neck. Shame, really, but at least it happened quickly.
So you didn't actually kill her?
Not actually, no. I was a bit unimpressed by the development at first. Then I found out that she had told the driver to take her to Janellen instead. She had planned to lose me in the provinces. I would have looked very foolish to the Crows. As it was, my master was very impressed that I had done such a fine job of making it look like an accident. The Circle of Magi was unaware of foul play, and everyone was happier all around.
You got lucky.
I got stupid, in fact, and very lucky. It was after that when I learned that one needn't let a pretty face go to your head. Professionalism was key. That's my moral of the day, you see.
So you never miss business with pleasure?
Well, there is you. But I'll point out that you did have to capture me and tie me up first. Every rule has its exception. Now that I've mentioned tying me up in that context, do we have extra...
Can you answer some questions?
Right, but I get to stare at
Tell me about your adventures.
again. Well now, what might interest you, I wonder? Shall I describe the stages involved with Lanthrax poisoning? I watched a man go through all 7 once.
If you like, certainly.
No, I'll not inflict that upon you just yet. Let's see, how about the largest battle I ever took part in? That would have been the slaughter of Prince Osrin. Did you hear of that down in these parts?
You killed a prince?
Me? Not personally, but I did take part in the attack. Prince Osrin was 4th in line to the throne, you see. He started off as 11th, but worked his way up the old-fashioned method by inheriting control of an entire Crocell from his grandfather. After assassinating his way through the royal family, the king hired 3 other cells to take down Prince Osrin once and for all. I was in one of those cells.
Is that the sort of thing common in Antiva?
Antivan royalty is very much bound up in the crows. You wouldn't want it run by a bunch of commoners, after all, would you? And this means they get involved in politics quite often. This particular fight nearly bankrupted the nation, I understand. It almost ended up putting a crow on the throne, a commoner. But that's a whole different story. I played a very small part.
What did you do?
My part in the entire battle was taken up trying to reach Princess Verina, who had thrown in with her brother. I killed about 11 of her guards personally before I got knocked out of a window. I landed in a river and nearly drowned. I was fished out by some urchins who robbed me blind. Made off with my boots, too. At least they didn't cut my throat. And that was my part in history.
You got robbed by urchins?
I had to find my way back to the safe house, bruised and naked, and thankful to be alive. But there you go. Tale told. Let's be off before I tell more embarrassing stories, huh?
Wait, no, I want more stories like that. That's hilarious. Care to answer some questions?
All right, but I get to stare at you.
Tell me about your adventures.
Well, the only one that's really worth telling is the story of the mission right before I came to Ferelden. But no, I would rather not. I shouldn't have said anything.
Why not? What's the problem?
Nothing that I would prefer to speak of. Perhaps another day. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Care to ask some
Alright,
questions?
but I get to stay.
Tell me about Antiva.
You wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
And it's
Every land
assassins.
has its assassins. Some are simply more open about their business than others. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable?
My people have no
Ah,
cities.
yes, of course. The wandering life of the Dalish. That truly is better. I'm jealous. You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most.
Oh, this I have to
I
hear.
mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home more than anything else.
You know what? I get that. I literally went into an Afro-Caribbean market today on my way home, and when I entered, I was just greeted with the wondrous fucking smell of fish, like raw fish, and I was like, oh, this smells like home. I like this. Or not my actual home, but my my parents are from Barbados, and when I visited a lot of times with my mother, like there would be stalls of just fish, because that's all one of the few things they have there. They got fish and fruit. So that fish smell is, I know there are people out there who are like, oh no, I hate the smell of fish. Nah, man, that fish market smell makes me feel good. It makes me very happy. You sound like you've been away from home
Oh,
forever.
not so long, I know. It is my first time away from Antiva, however, and the thought of never returning makes me think of it constantly. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in a store window. Finest Antivan leather, perfect craftsmanship. Ah, but I was a fool to leave them. I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
Your home is still there, Zevran.
True, and it's a comforting thought. One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a beautiful Grey Warden, a woman who then spares my life? I could not.
Now you're flattering me.
I say you are beautiful because it is true. Should I not?
Don't bother, I'm onto you.
I'm not sure that that's the route I would take, were I to continue old habits, but as you wish. Now, if
Besides,
it's
I'm with Alistair.
I'd prefer not to speak more of Antiba. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal.
Oh, damn. Damn. Whoops. -8.
What say you?
Karen has some questions. Let's move on. Alright. So 40 minutes of just talking to people. Let's do some of those quest lines that we've just been hanging around then. We're taking Ogren and Stan and Wynn, obviously.
Yes.
And we're going to take them to Lake Calenhad. Because Ogren needs to, you know, get his booty call, and Sten needs to get his sword. Ooh, cool. Let's make you a berserker. Raise up your strength to 40. Raise up your constitution. Sure, berserker. Oh, wait. Actually, let's get this. Destroyer. Oh, hi.
Back off! I was here first.
You ever seen a sword lying around, have you?
Why, you looking to buy one?
Well, it's a Hunari blade.
Q what?
People like my friend here.
Oh, there.
Or the giants you're pillaging.
To tell the truth, this place was mostly picked clean when I got here. I got part of a glove the wolves didn't chew too badly, though. I think it was a glove, anyway. I know, don't say it. I got cheated. I knew the guy who was here before me. He sold me this spot. Said he found giants and all kind of crazy valuables. He didn't mention that he'd taken everything but the bones and the dirt already. His name's Ferrin. Squirrely little bastard, if you ask me. Which you didn't, but I said it anyway.
Where's he now?
He was going to Orzammar, he said. I imagine he's gotten there by now. If you find him, tell him I sent you. It'll scare the piss out of him. Ah. This spot is mine. Find your own.
Okay. Oh, by the way, these landmarks, that's for your dog. He can piss on them and then he'll get better aggression and damage because he's protecting his spot, you know?
The Mages Collective thanks you. Make us smile upon you. Good to see you again.
Any new quests? Nope.
You, I, everything. All a dream. And for whose amusement? Some being of cosmic power, sublime and enlightened beings. What? What, you're serious? They thought of all this grit, all the war. They bloody thought
I need to plug my
of
phone before it dies now.
I
Oh,
got a
god damn it.
boil the size of your nose on my big toe.
Yeah, I still need to get a new mic. I don't know why I'm putting it off. Me just being stupid and lazy, I guess. Hopefully if I do my work quick enough tomorrow, I'll pick one up on my break.
If I ever come across one of them, I'll
Yeah, this is ghetto as shit. Which is funny because there was a job I had to do today where I had to like literally jury rig someone's internet together because I wasn't allowed to drill because it was a rental. We're not allowed to, unless we get specific permission from the owners of the place. When it comes to rentals, we're not allowed to do anything like that. Alright.
There she is. I'm gonna go talk to her. Look, you gotta back me up here. Got it?
What do you mean back you
Just,
up?
follow my lead, you know?
Let me talk to her first. She might be buried now.
Yeah, hadn't thought of that. Find out how much she misses old Ogren or who I have to kill, and then I'll go sweep her off her feet. That's me, Mr. Charm.
Hey, Felsi.
What can I get for you? And don't say mead. We ran out of that a week ago. And don't say rum, either. Ran out the day before yesterday. And don't say brandy.
When did you run out of brandy?
Oh, we haven't yet. It's just terrible. We got it from a shady Orlesian trader, and I think it might really be turpentine.
Felsi, I need tables clean, girl.
I've got a customer.
Your name's Felsi?
Aye, who wants to know?
You don't happen to know a fella named Ogren, do you?
Did you have to bring his name up? I just ate.
Not exactly a fan of his, then.
You could say that. You could also say I would rather kiss a deep stalker on the lips than see him again.
What happened between you two?
What happened? Is that a serious question? Have you met Ogren? He got drunk. Drunker than usual, even. Took off his pants and challenged a roast nug to a wrestling match at my father's funeral. He lost, by the way. The roast got him in an arm lock. He sat there crying for half an hour before someone pulled it off him.
How did he lose to a piece of meat?
It was a sodding good roast.
Felsi, what in Andraste's name are you doing? The tables, girl!
All right! I've got to get back to work. I got work to do. I don't need to think about that sodding waste.
Welcome back to the Spoiled Princess. How may I serve you today?
I'd like a drink.
Of course.
No, and no. Never mind. You have nothing here I actually want and or care about. Plans for traps, I don't care about those. But I will take these. I will always take potions, because I can always use more potions. And injury kits. Injury kits are also good. Lyrium, gimme. Lyrium, good. Sir Ogren.
Well, what did she say?
He hasn't exactly forgiven you for the nug incident.
That fight was rigged. Anyway, the guard said it wasn't worth pressing charges, so she's no call to hold a grudge. Did she say anything else?
Go get her.
Just be ready to pry her off when she throws herself at me. We don't want to make a scene here. Well, don't pry her off me too soon. I mean, a little scene's all right. Are you sure you're not a baker? Because you got a sodding...
Oh, how did this man even get bronca?
Well, look what the nug dragged in. I should have known you were in the neighborhood. By the stench. What are you doing here?
Just trying to kick back with a pint. Fighting Darkspawn's a lot of sodding work, you know?
You're fighting Darkspawn?
This man took a whole army of golems almost single-handedly.
It was a bit of pain, but it was a personal favor for the King of Orzammar, you understand?
Technically also not a lie.
A whole surface to choose from, and you just happened to come to my tavern?
Well,
tell her it's fate.
Oh, right. It's fate, Felsi. What can
Am
I
I really
say?
playing Windman to this?
Fate? The ancestors must have a sense of humor then.
Sure they do. You've had a good look at Lady Helmy, haven't you? If her face isn't a joke the ancestors are playing, I'm a Bronto's behind.
So, Lady Helmy must be a paragon of beauty then.
Tell her you've been thinking of her.
I've been thinking about you, Felsi.
What do you want, Ogren?
Nothing. Just thought I'd see how you were doing is all. Well, maybe that and grease up the Bronto, if you know what I mean.
Well, you've seen me. You'll have to go back to Orzammar for the Bronto.
I'm gonna help this man get laid. I mean, I got laid myself. It's only fair, right? We can't waste time here. The Queen's waiting for us.
Oh, the Queen needed a new fool, did she?
Oh, well, it's been fun, Felsi. But I better go.
Wait, you're leaving? You just got here. I haven't called you a shaft rat yet.
Well, you can't keep the archdemon waiting. You hurt its feelings. It might just turn the whole blight around and go home. Nobody
Holy shit,
wants
Felsi,
that.
are you really that desperate?
Well, you don't need to fight it right now, do you? I mean, you could have a pint first. You could call me a surly Bronto.
Holy shit, Felsi.
Like
this man is either the best lay of your fucking life or you are a real desperate
do,
girl.
But I'll come back for that pint when things are settled. You frigid deep stalker.
Fine, but you better not keep me waiting, you worthless copper-plated sword cast.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Well, there we go.
I still got it.
What are you leaving for? Go get her.
Don't you know anything about women? You gotta make 'em wait. Play hard to get. Might as well rest up while I can. You ready to go?
Alright, let's go.
Aye. Alright then.
Well, there we go.
Now's better.
I'm glad I could help you get laid later, I guess. Anyway. To Orgrimmar. We need to go with Sten and... Oh, battle.
Will you stop eating?
I'm hungry.
Stuff your face at camp. For now, watch the bloody road.
But we've been looking at the road for hours. No travelers all day.
Will one of you pay attention?
Hey, who's that?
Damn it. Bandit leader. Alright, let's go. Alright, let's summon the wolf here. Right shot. You're dead. By the way, Sten, do you have another slot for... Yeah, you do. Self, any, activate mode. Oh, I didn't act... Oh. Indomitability. Self, any, activate mode, threaten. There we go. Back to me. Oh, you're the bandit leader. There's no point shooting you. What am I getting blocked on? The air?
Let's see some blood.
There we go. Nice. Nice.
I'll get on it.
Oh, there's still more.
All right. I'll get on it.
I'm also hoping I can keep listening to their conversation. It's always fun to like listen in on bandits talking. Shit's always hilarious to me. More bandits here. I missed. I missed an person not even looking at me. Spectacular.
This has gone well.
We got two more over here, it seems.
I see a trap.
Trap detected. Let's get that handled first. Okay, it's just one more.
You're gonna pay.
I see a trap.
God damn.
I see a trap. I see a trap. I'll get on it.
Well, it sucks for you guys. In my defense, I didn't swing first. You guys didn't have to be bandits. I literally was just sitting here listening to your conversation, and then you attacked me. You know, I wonder, is a solo playthrough of this game possible? Or it's just you, you don't have any allies? Is that actually doable? I should check that someday. I won't be doing it me because I'm a fucking coward. I ain't got time for that shit. But
That's
hey,
better
for
than
people who
pointless.
do, anyone out there mind telling me if it's possible to do a solo run of this game? I feel like you could only do it in, like, maybe easy? Ugh. Also, I forgot to go to the circle tower. I need to fight one of those, what's it called? Let's see. Head for more is likely there. Foreign.
It's hard to believe we have a king again.
Yeah, but someone check around and see if it's possible to open.
Chilly, Sten?
Chilly. I don't know this word.
It's much warmer where you're from, isn't it? Don't you feel cold?
I suppose.
I don't imagine we can find a cloak in your size, can we?
What?
Nothing. Nothing. Don't mind me. Now, I wonder where I could get a skein of good wool yarn.
Funnily enough, every single Cornari that you have or have had in this game, whether it be for, in this game, Dragon Age 1, what the fuck was that? Dragon Age 1 or Dragon Age 3 with Sten and, Iron Bull in that one. The Kunari, when it comes to just, like, wizened women or, like, elder women, I don't want to say elder, but when it comes to women like that, they all have trouble, like, saying no to them. Because it's just like, shit, we were raised well. Fuck. Alright, let's look for this Farron guy.
Fine to see you here, Warden. A number of people have told me they hope to see you in the provings. It's a rare opportunity to fight against someone so exotically trained. In fact, a few were hoping you'd take part in some informal action.
I'm game. What do you have in mind?
Say the word and I'll line up a team from one of the younger houses. They don't often get a chance to test themselves in the provings. They're a hungry bunch who employ unusual tactics. Understand that there's no concern for fairness here. Your battles will be hard won.
Who am I facing? What do I get for it?
The younger houses are interested in unorthodox tactics. Many hire mercenaries to augment traditional strengths. Anything goes is a fair description. We give small payouts, maybe a bonus from time to time. But this isn't about money. It's about skill and the chance to show it.
Set me up with a team
We've
battle.
got some young fighters ready to go. This will be difficult, I assure you.
Oh, okay, just right in there. Blood Mage, just straight up a fucking Blood Mage. I need you to hit that person in the back right fucking now. Same thing, I need you to hit this person in the back, please. And everyone else can go as a police. You need to die. Yeah, I'm gonna need you not to do that. Yeah, the Blood Mage needs to go. Crusher. God, they are hitting so fucking hard. That's not missing a lot of stuff.
As I expected.
Good job, Warden. You've earned a portion of the receipts. Let me know if you want to go again.
Set me up with a team
We've
battle.
got some young fighters ready to...
So it's just like a rather random smattering of enemies. Seems like it. Ow. I was attacking you, piece of shit. And I'm aiming. Come on now. Ow. Come on. What are you aiming at?
Good job, Warden. You've earned a portion of the receipts. The younger... We give small payouts. Maybe a bonus.
I'll come back for action later. Are these people dead? Did I murder those people, or was that just a friendly bout? Alright, so this Farron person's not in the proving ground. Maybe they're in Dusttown? In hindsight, I should have taken... Actually, now that I think about it, I should take Shale for after this.
Yes.
Thunder.
Yes.
There we go.
I do not understand what a golem is. Why would anyone create such a being?
Why would one create a sword? To strike at its enemies.
But you are no sword golem. You speak like a living creature, but act like a possession. I do not know what to make of you.
I am no possession. Not now that the control rod is broken.
No, it is still in your heart. Do you even realize this? Age by age have men stood up and said to the world, from what has come before me I was forged, but I am new and greater than my forebears. And so each man walks the world in ruin, abandoned and untried, less than the whole of his being.
It is a riddle.
It seems so.
Let's see. Is it this guy in here? Nope, you're Figor. I'm looking for Farin. I feel like I've seen that name before. Garen. I'm gonna check Dusttown. Chanar. Legar. Was it in here, perhaps? Tapsters. I heard a black face, but never black body. Reveler. Nope, no one here. Where are they? Yeah, wait. Oh wow, that was quick. Already got a chantry going. Holy shit. It's kind of impressive, I'm not gonna lie. You dwarves build quick. I couldn't have been gone for too long, have I? Alamar's Emporium. Nope. Actually, Alamar, do you got anything you could buy?
Back. You got more business for me?
This is a little much like a
Our
store.
business is kind of covert. It's illegal in Orzammar for me to engage in protected trade. But
That's some character. What do you
why
give
don't
me?
you take?
Do you have any potions? No. No. Damn it. Oh, I'll take that though. Backhands. What a name.
You can get off my back.
What do you think of that new King Balin, huh?
Just like any other noble.
So you're the one who killed Jarvia. Do you know what you've done? Jarvia was no paragon, but she looked after her own. Even the nobles wouldn't cross her. If you think we're gonna let you waltz around like you own the place, you're wrong. For Jarvia, attack!
You know what? I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad with this situation going on right now. And I've been stunned even though I'm over here. Anyway. He's doing the weird body thing again. Suspicious door. Slum's house. Nope, not in here. So not in Dusttown. Hey, do you know anything about a Farin?
Well, now that they've got a new king, everyone's forgotten about us. Again.
What do you think of that new King Balin, huh?
Just like any other noble. Wouldn't take the time to spit on the likes of us.
His woman's castless, though, or was. That Rika, remember her? Garot's favorite from way back. And word on the street is he's got no qualms about recruiting brands for his troops.
During the Blight, he's going to use whatever Orzamar's got. I could get behind that.
Yeah, see? It's not, like, proper treatment, but now, effectively, even the castless can move up. It's something. Because with Haramon's Way, what the fuck is that visual thing? With Haramon's Way, that wouldn't have been an option. Because it's like, oh, a castle is gross. Ugh, racism. Figures, imports. Maybe someone in the Diamond Quarter. Nobles. Harriman's house, maybe?
Because of you, Lord Harrowmont, the most honest man in Orzammar, lies dead at the headsman's block. How dare you show your face around here?
Yeah. Maybe. Anyway, I'm looking for someone. I'm looking for a Farron? Oh, there's a chest here.
You must be under great strain with the blight upon the land. I will pray to the stone for you.
Thank you. Don't mind me, I'm just kind of looking at this chest. I'm totally not stealing the things inside, just looking at it. Where is Farron? My friend has a sword to get. Wait. Was he outside? I believe Farron was outside of Orzammar. Let's go check. Yeah, I think this happens when I don't restart my game for after too long. It's not too much of a... Or not restart my game, restart my computer for after not too long. Guards.
What do you estimate are the chances of success, Konari?
For the Grey Warden, little to none.
So why does it follow? I do not risk death, but it does.
My mission is no different from the Grey Wardens. I must see this through to the end.
It would rather perish than give up its quest.
Indeed. There is honor to be salvaged in such a quest, no matter its chances.
Honor is a curious thing. It is far better to be practical.
What use is practicality when it leads to cowardice and emptiness? It is better to live well than to live.
An interesting theory.
There is worth in your life, Shale. There is value, but only if it is used.
Can't hate that logic. You really can't. Alright, was he outside? Dwarf, Aren, dwarf, gossip.
What's to be done? What can we do?
Yeah, there he is. Hello.
So, you're back, I see. What can I do for you?
Looking for a Kunari sword.
Can what? I'm sorry, I don't know what that...
Where is my sword?
I don't know what you mean, sir.
I give it to him if I were you, Farron.
I don't have it. I swear by Andraste's knickers. I sold it on the way here.
Who'd you sell it to?
A dwarf near Redcliffe. Dwyn, I think his name was.
What a dwarf want a Kunari blade?
I don't rightly know. He said he was a collector. It's none of my business what a person wants with my merchandise once it's changed hands.
We'll see.
Alright, we're off to Redcliffe then.
I've told you what I can.
I just see your wares. Ooh, yes. Alright, so I think it's a pretty good place to stop. So we're effectively going around the world just doing our quest lines after we've helped our companions, you know, start to like us. And we took Alistair to bed, which was the real important part of today's mission. Either way, I want everyone out there to have a good morning, evening, day, or night, wherever you're at. For right now, I'm out. Later.